Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey. I don't, or at least I used to not, post on here very consistently, but I'm trying to now because it's fun. Yeah, so welcome to today's video. Welcome to my October wrap up. So October was a pretty crazy, hectic month for me and my family. Therefore, I only got through 3 books. I'm just going to give a little bit of insight. There will be some spoilers in this book or in this video about the books that I read for the month of October. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers about these books, then exit out now. I will go ahead and tell you the books that I'm going to be talking about. So if you have already read them and don't care to hear spoilers, you can stay watching the video, and if not, then you can click out. So
I definitely forgot to tell you which 3 books that I read. The first one was A Court of Thorns and Roses, just the first book in the series. And then I read It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. And then the last one that I talk about is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. So yeah, go ahead and click out if you don't want to hear spoilers about these 3 books. But if not, then you can keep watching. Okay, thank you.
Very first book that I read this month that I actually brought over from the very end of September is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I am usually not a fantasy gal at all, so I kind of put this off for a little bit because people kept typing it up saying it was so good that I need to read it. So I finally got it. I loved it. I gave this 5 stars. Even looking back on it now after being done with it for a month, I still give it 5 stars. I loved everything about it. I have not started the second book just yet. I do have it, but I haven't started it yet. And as of right now, after the first book, I am team Farah and Tamlin all the way. I love him for her. I don't know, I love their relationship, and I don't know, he just seemed really sweet. I love the way he was so protective over her, how much she loved him, that she was willing to go through all those trials against Amarantha. Say her name? To save him and set him free and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm super excited to read the rest of the series. And I already know that Tamlin and Farah don't end up together, which kind of makes me sad because I really did like them together. I won't go into depth over all these books, just give my review and like things that I loved about them. You can see I didn't have this book at all, but I was told before reading this that it was like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I can kind of see it. I can kind of see the parallel to it. Being a Beauty and the Beast retelling, especially like taking her captive, bringing her into his home, and they end up falling for each other, you know, the dinner table, like all that kind of stuff, having dinner together, and then I don't know, it's just like, it is basically like the Beauty and the Beast. So if you have not read this, it takes place in the world of Prythian. And there is a treaty between the human world and the world of fairies. They're not like fairies like wings and fairies. It's like F-A-E-R-I-E-S. That's the thing about fantasy. There are made up words, and they're allowed to be made up because it's fantasy. It's not like normal reading, like the normal world. And she actually ends up killing a fairy while she was hunting. Her family's very poor, and the treaty says that for a fairy's life, the fairy gets to take a human life, so they can either kill her or she can live in Prythian for the rest of her days. So Tamlin, which she ends up finding out later, is the fairy who comes and picks her up, takes her over to Prythian, and she lives in his castle, kingdom, whatever. Supposedly the treaty says that But a human cannot be or enslaved to fairy. Farah ends up learning that Tamlin is a High Lord, and then I'm not going to give the whole story, but because if you've read it, then you know. She ends up learning that the treaty wasn't even a thing, and that Tamlin was sending people over as like kind of like a sacrifice to find him someone to fall in love with, because if he got a human to fall in love with him from his heart, since they all had, you know, their gold masks on, that it would break the curse that Amarantha put on Prithian. So yeah, I gave it a 5 stars. I loved it. I'm kind of like putting off getting into the next book because I don't think I will ever want to leave the world of Prithian. I just think it's so cool and I love it. And the next book that I read is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I tabbed this one and I'm not really going to go into depth at all with this one because I have a full video on it. Title of read It Starts With Us with me, and I literally go through every single thing that I tabbed and why I tabbed it. So all I'm going to say is that I gave this a 4 stars. The only thing that'd make it a 5-star for me is if we got Lily's vows at the end and got a little bit more of their love story. I did love how this was more character driven rather than plot driven. Colleen didn't put Lily through any more hardship or any of that. We didn't want that anyway. We wanted this beautiful love story, Lily and Atlas, which I love them so much. So I really enjoyed this book, but like I said, the only thing that'd make it a 5 stars for me is if we got Lily's vows and then a little bit more of the love story. And then the last book on my October reading wrap up is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I had this sitting on my shelf since Prime Day, I believe. And everyone kept telling me to read it, all my friends. But I just feel like after you read one Colleen Hoover book and how fast you can get through them, you just want to pick up another one and just read it. So I read this one after this, and I finished this a couple days. When did I finish this? Like 26th of October or something. Another book at the end of October, and it's in my purse. So I'll show you what I'm currently reading. But I tapped this book. I have not been tapping the one that I read now. I'm flying through it. I just didn't really care to have it. But this is about a girl named Fallon. She was in a fire at dad's home, and she blames her dad for all of it, that he didn't care to get her out. She has scars all over the left side of her body from the fire, and then she meets her dad for lunch one day at a restaurant, and she ends up getting into kind of like a scuffle with her dad, and Ben comes in and pretends to be her boyfriend and like defends her, saves the day. She was raised by her mom saying to not get into any sort of relationship until you're like 23, but she knows she lived her life around. Therefore, she was 18 when she met Ben, so they promised they would meet up on every November 9th to kind of like, I don't know, it's like their relationship resumed on November 9th and everything else, like, I don't know. It's a 5 stars as well. The only thing I would change about this book is I wish we got a little bit more commentary about what happens between the November 9ths, not between the two of them, but like for each of them, because we only get banter and a story on November 9th. But like I said, if you read this, you know that she finds out that Ben is the one who started the fire in the house that caused all of her scars on accident, wasn't on purpose. Yeah, and a lot of crazy things happen on the November 9th, and like I said, I'm not going into detail on that because that would take forever. But long story short, they end up together happily ever after. November 9th is coming up. It's in almost exactly a week. So those are the 3 books that I read for October. I'll show you what I am currently reading. So I am currently reading Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I am reading this because of Haley Pham. I watched her for years, and then she started doing book videos and like book vlogs and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll start reading again. So I did, and then now I'm just reading all the time, and I just fly through books, and this is where we're at. So I am on page 270, and there's like I'm like 75% done or whatever it is. But I am really enjoying this book. I just love how it's so sweet and cute and just like, I don't know, it's like one of those books that I want to spend up. But and the cover is so beautiful. I love the cover of this. I posted this on my Bookstagram, and Lynn Painter shared my post, which I was like, I felt so cool. So yeah, I'm super excited to finish this. I'm sure I'll finish this for sure by tomorrow, I'd say. I'm definitely gonna read some more tonight while it's at baseball. So yeah, I am super duper excited about this book. I just love it so much. Just look how cute. But I'm not going to say anything about this book now besides what I already said, because this needs to be in my November wrap up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can get notified whenever I post more videos about books or just post more videos in general. And you can follow my Bookstagram. I'll put that here and in the description. Follow my normal Instagram, which I'll have this here as well as in the description, and my TikTok. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.